Today we're going to learn how to do division using the area model. So I have 9,824 and I'm going to divide that by 32 using my area model. So what I do is I'm going to just put right over here a 32. And then I'm going to build a box. And in this box, I'm going to decompose my 9,824 into its place values. So I start with a 9,000. I have 800. I have 20. And then I have 4. Okay? So now I'm looking at 32. And I want to get as close to 9,000 as I possibly can, but that's a really big number. And so I'm going to make the number as small as possible and then add some zeros to help me out. So what I mean is I know that 32 cannot go into 9, but 32 can go into that 90. I know that 32 can go into 90 2 times, because 2 times 32 is 64. Now because my 6 is less than that 9, I can put it right here underneath my 9. I can put my 4 here, and look, I have 2 extra zeros. And I told you I want to get really close to 9,000, and 64 is super far away from 9,000. So if I just did 32 times 2, it's going to take me a really long time to solve this problem. But what happens if I do 32 times 200? I add those 2 zeros. I add them down here. 32 times 200 is 6,400. Now I'm really close to 9,000. And my number is more reasonable. So I have 200 up here. And I'm just going to put a little plus sign because I'm going to add those up at the end. So I'm going to subtract. Okay. The goal is the same. I need to either get to a 0 in here or a remainder in here. So 0 minus 0 is 0. Another 0. 0 cannot take away 4, so that 0 becomes a 10, meaning my 9 has to become an 8. 10 minus 4 is 6. And then 8 minus 6 is 2. So I still have 2,600. We know that 32 can still go into that number. However, I'm going to move it. And I'm going to move it up here with my 800. And I'm going to combine them. Okay? I'm going to combine my 2,600 with my 800 to make a new number. Okay, 0 plus 0, 0, 0. 8 plus 6 is 14, and 1 plus 2 is 3. So now I have 3,400. Again, I want to see how many times I can get 32 in there, but I'm going to break it up a little bit to help me. 32 cannot go into 3, but it can go into 34 one time. Okay. 1 times 32 is 32, and I'm missing these 2 zeros, so really 32 times 100 is 3,200. I'm going to subtract that again, getting a new number. 0 minus 0 is 0. 4 minus 2 is 2. And so now I have 200 left. And just like I did the last time, I'm going to take this 200, I'm going to move it back up, and I'm going to add it to my 20, making my new number 220. Okay? So now I'm going to use 32, and I know that it can't go into 2, it can't go into 22, so now I'm going to have to kind of figure out how many times does that 32 go in to 220. So I'm going to take 32, and I'm going to multiply it Let's see if I did it by 6. How close to 220 can I get? 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. I add a 1, I get 19. That is as close to 220 as I'm going to get. So again, I'm going to have my plus, and I'm going to put a 6 there. 6 times 32 is 192, and I'm going to subtract the 2. 0 becomes a 10, and this 2 becomes a 1. 10 minus 2 is 8. My 1 becomes an 11, and my 2 becomes a 1. 11 minus 9 is 2, so I have 28 left. So again, I'm going to move my 28 up to my 4, and I'm going to add the two of them together. And I know that 28 plus 4 is going to give me 32. Now this one's easy. 32 goes into 32 exactly one time. 1 times 32 is 32. I subtract it and I get the answer that I've been waiting for finally, which is a 0. I'm not done yet. I don't know my answer. That's why I'm adding all of those up there together, because that's going to give me my answer. 200 plus 100, that's going to give me 300. 6 plus 1 is 7, so my answer is 307. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to put this number, my 13, over here, and then I'm going to create a box where I'm going to break apart, decompose my 5,902. Okay? So I'm going to make this one 5,900. I'm not going to forget about my 0. And 2. So now I want to think about how can I get 13 into 5,000. 5,000 is such a huge number, so I'm going to break it up. I really am going to concentrate on 50. 13 going into 50. I know that 13 times 4 is 52. That's too high, so I have to do 13 times 3, which is 39. And I'm going to put 39 over here. And I have 2 zeros. So if I add those 2 zeros, I'm going to add them up here to my 3. Showing that I'm really multiplying 13 times 300 to give me 3,900. I'm going to add a plus up there because I'm going to use that at the end. So 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. This 0 cannot take away a 9, so it becomes a 10. And this, then I have to borrow from this 5, which makes it a 4. 10 minus 9 is 1, and 4 minus 3 is 1. I have 1,100 left. Obviously, 13 can go into that, but I'm just going to move it. I'm going to move it, and I'm going to add it to my 900. 1,100 plus 900 gives you 2,000, and that's my new number to work with. 13 can go into 20. I'm breaking up my 2,000 again. I know that 13 can go into 20 one time. And 1 times 13 is 13, leaving me with 2 zeros down here, making this 100 up there. 13 times 100 is 1,300. I'm going to subtract, and I'm going to get 700 left. I'm going to take that 700 and I'm going to move it up here and I'm going to add it to my 0, giving me 700. Okay? This is where those math facts come in handy. I know that 13 times 5 is 65. So I'm going to put a 5 up here, and I'm going to put my 65 here, and I have 1 0. So I can add a 0 here, and I can make that a 50. 700 minus 650 gives me 50 left. And I'm going to take that 50 and I'm going to add it to my 2. And my new number is 52. 13 goes in to 52 4 times, because 4 times 13 is 52. I subtract it, I get a 0, which is what I want. I either want a remainder or a 0. I'm not done, because now I have to add up all of my numbers up here that I used. 300 plus 100 is 400, and then 50 plus 4 is 54. So my answer is 454.